Good morning, friends. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab, and a very happy Holi to all the people in this country. Friends, I will come up with a data which I dug in from the Imperial Gazetteer of India 1887. There is a chapter called Army in India and their rules and regulations. So when I was going through this chapter, I came across a data which I created later on, and this data will speak of 1796, because 1796 the 1810 uniformity of grants was there. So this data gives me that what were the number of officers in 1796 in the British Army. The numbers were approximately 13,000. Bengal Army was holding more than 5,500 of the officers. Madras was holding 4,000 and Bombay was holding about 3,500 officers. Now, presumably, they were mainly the three categorizations of the grants of fixed size. One was to a captain, then it was a sub-lieutenant, and it was then the junior rank field officer. So these three ranks and 5,500 officers. Now, in 1796, I did not get the data how many field officers, how many captains, and how many sub-lieutenants. So on a mathematical percentage, that the pyramid grows like this, so you may have a lot of sub-lieutenants or sub-lieutenants and captain and then field officers. So the pyramid grows like this. So I worked it this way, that when we want to allow the field officer a grant, we say that one particular size of 22,500 square yards of the land is required for him, and a captain requires 12,000 square yards and sub-lieutenant 7,000 square yards. So we all can convert it into our local areas, like Himachal goes into Biswas, somebody goes into acres, and somebody may go into hectares, whatever they want to do. I am talking everything in numerically in square yards. So let's presume there were 3,575 sub-lieutenants in Bengal Presidency. So what is the area they required? It runs down to be approximately 25 lakhs thousand square yards. Similarly, there were 1,375 captains posted in Bengal Presidency. So we go by the benchmark, multiplying that area, it comes out to be about 16 lakh 50,000 acres of land. Similarly, field officers, the pyramid is growing 550. So that comes out to be 12 lakh some 375,000 of square yards. So total comes out to be 53 lakh 90,000 or something. Now I convert this into acres. So the total land requirement in Bengal Presidency in 1796, if the cantonments were there, was 11,136 acres of land, or 4,507 acres of land. So we can always take the reverse calculations and get to this data. Similarly, Madras had 4,000 officers. Again, the same ratio has been divided. So we presume that there were about 2,600 sub-lieutenants, 1,000 captains, and approximately 400 field officers. So the total multiplication of the fixed grant size, the land required in Madras Presidency was 8,099 acres. This is in 1796. Similarly, Bombay, We again divide it. So we take the ratio from 20 to 7,500 sublieutenants, captains 875 and field officers 350. So the total land required in Bombay Presidency was 7,087 acres of land. So friends, from 1796 we can move to 1857 straight when the Gadar happened. So now the total employment which the British Army had rose to 33,994 officers. So the mathematical formulation goes by that same formula. So from 1796 to 1857. So the requirement grew to, in 1857, that in Bengal Presidency the total land area, if we divide these officers, was 43,395 acres. Okay. And in Madras Presidency the requirement was 6,483. Now it's very interesting that the Madras Presidency requirement went down, and now when you come to Bombay Presidency, it rose to 18,952 acres. Now this is in 1857. Let's come down by the Army Regulation 1887. Now the total force which the British were holding in India in 1887 was 64,762 officers of this rank, and there were some which had even gone up a little higher. But let's pick up the number again. Now we presume in Bengal there were 45,515 officers, and in Madras there were 11,143, and in Bombay 8,104. This is in 1887. So Bombay is decreasing here as per the Imperial Gazetteer. Now the same formula for field officers, captain, because see, the uniformity of grant never changed. So the land area for Bengal grew to 92,158 acres. This time even the Madras Presidency grew to 22,562. But when you come to Bombay, the land requirement decreases. It goes to 16,409 acres. Makes sense? This is all as per data. These figures have not been driven by me. They've been driven by the Imperial Gazette. All is that I've jumbled the equation in a vice versa. I've matched the equation in a reverse order. The British are saying that these are the many officers in our in India. So if this many officers, this many ranks, this many such rank, convert them into the uniformity. So this is the land requirement. Now from 1887 we jump to 1903. The last gazetteer, Imperial Gazetteer, which talks of. Now he says the officer's strength went down. It came down to 49,705 in 1903. Bengal, the number of officers were left to 24,048. In Madras, it was 9,448. In Bombay, it rose to 16,209. In Punjab, it rose to 20,051 officers, and the other area which came down was Burma, holding on to 4,422 officers, because this was the entire area which the Britishers were governing. Now from 1887 to 1903, they were expanding their fort, and we will go by the same thumb rule of the uniformity of grants, equally divided by the same percentage of officers. Now what is the land required in Bengal? it goes to Bengal. Now the land requirement in 1903 goes to 4,000, 1902. This goes to, there is a small error. What is this error? I'll just check into. This says that the land required in Bengal was 48,692 acres. And coming down to Madras, it came down to 19,130 acres. Bombay, it came to 32,820. And in Punjab, it was 52,302 acres of land. And in Burma, it was 11,535 acres of land. So when we will compare these datas and when we will create, I just gave a video prior to this which was related to the area during the period when the cantonment was made. So let's say we divide that area into what were the cantonments in Bengal presidencies, what were in Bombay, Madras, or Punjab. Let's put it this way. Then we sum up the area and try and calculate the area with the area which we have done as per the Imperial Gazetteer. This should match. If not match, the civil area and something has to be. So either what I have spoken in one of my video, that in 1858, the Governor General order said that the uniformity of the grant was not being maintained by the so-called army officers or the commanders who were posted at the local station. So that is why the lands were varying. An officer who was entitled to, let's say, 22,500 square yard was actually holding a land acre area of more than 8, 10, 20 acres. So this is where that discrepancy of land area is to be calculated. You know, some people might say, Mr. Das, why this video? You know, these videos are for pleadings in the court. How do you prove to the court that we were old grants and why the uniformity of grant mismatches with the land area of the time when the cantonment was made? So we somewhere have to prove that there was something which was going wrong. Either the British Army at that time was holding lands other than this also. Let's say if the area decreases. And let's say if the area increases, what was that area? Again, those boundary pillars. That is why the Britishers said there has to be military boundary pillars and there has to be cantonment boundary pillars. Friends, these are all pleadings. You know, these videos will make sense only if you understand the whole story, that why I dug into all this. Okay. Thank you. Good day. Bye-bye.